This is our component 2 mock, and this is Holy Cross mock 4. And we're on to question 2. Two structures, similar roles in reproduction, and you immediately recognise one of them, hopefully, as a sperm. And it says similar roles, so same job as a sperm, but it's actually something from a different organism, different kingdom. Identify the structures. Well, R is a sperm or spermatozoon, or you could have gone for the plural, spermatozoa, so sperm. And actually Q is a pollen grain, which from your general knowledge you might know anyway. Common role in reproduction, well, you know what a sperm does. It's a gamete, but it wants its actual role. So it transfers DNA, a nucleus containing a haploid DNA, so half a copy of the DNA, to, where's it going? It's going to an ovum or an egg in reproduction. And the same thing is happening with this pollen. It's the male gamete. So transfer DNA, which will probably get you the mark, but I'm going to put 2 there. Female gamete, fertilization, that sort of answer. Q and R are adapted for aquatic and terrestrial or terrestrial existence. Aquatic means water, terrestrial means land. So sperm, so organisms with sperm, are they generally found in the sea or on land? Well, you're on land most of the time, and you're producing sperm, your species, so that's going to be land. So terrestrial. And this is also terrestrial. And one adaptation to explain how it adapts for terrestrial or aquatic existence. A little bit more trickier. With the pollen grain, you're kind of looking at why has it got these obvious spines, and you can more or less have a guess here. So either the sort of sensible guess is it helps them blow away in the wind, or transfer on the wind, or sticks to animals and gets transferred. Those will do. So I'll just put to catch the wind. It has, the technical word for it, which you probably won't know. You will know actually. Yeah, you will know because you've done a lot on plant reproduction and including pollen. Oh yeah, so you will know this. It's exine. So sculpted exine. Let's write this. Sculpted exine. So the outside part of the pollen grain. And well, probably the most obvious thing there is the tail for movement, so in the corkscrew actions for swimming, so tail for swimming in the kind of semi-liquid environment of the female rather than out in the sea. B. How are organisms which produce gametes adapted to aquatic existence able to successfully reproduce on dry land? Right. Bit of a strange one, this. So the gametes might be aquatic. So for example, this sperm swimming, that's what it's just led us. How are they adapted to reproduce on dry land? Well, you need something to put the sperm in the right place. So, a penis, or it's sometimes called an intromittent organ. Or you could say something like, internal fertilization as a better phrase. So I'm going to write internal fertilization. So putting the gamete inside the female, where the body fluids will then allow it to transfer to where it's going to fertilize the female gamete. What type of cell division is essential to the production of gametes? So we're back on home territory here. Meiosis. And then, oh dear, draw a label diagram. Show 2 pairs of homologous chromosomes will be arranged at the equator of the cell at metaphase 1 of this type of cell division. Right, 2 pairs. So we need 1 pair and another pair at the equator in metaphase. So if we've got a cell, and if we're going to have, I'll have the equator there. So that's the equator. And then we're going to have 2 pairs of homologous chromosomes. Now these are going to be at the equator, but the question is, it tells you that, so you're not going to get a mark for that, but how are they arranged, and what do they actually look like? So we're going to draw, just like we had in question 1, we could draw them in the same style as that. So a centromere with chromatids, and that's one of the marks. The second mark is, well, it's got its homologous chromosome on the other side of the equator, so kind of like a mirror image there. So homologous chromosomes are paired with each other, and on the third mark is on each side of the equator. So we wanted 2 pairs, so let's draw another one. Let's make this slightly different. Let's make it slightly bigger, and it's homologous pair there. So the chromosomes are drawn correctly. Chromatids joined at a centromere. We've got homologous chromosomes correctly paired. So I've drawn a smaller set and a larger set, and they are either side of and sort of similar distances away from the equator. We need to label, because it says draw a label diagram, so this at the moment might not get all the marks. So for example, chromatid, who knows how many labels it actually wants. Centromere, and we've labelled the equator there. We could say that's a homologous pair. So I think we've labelled just about everything that we need to there. Explain the significance of this type of cell division. 2 marks, so go for the 2 biggies, which are, in order to produce gametes, these need to be haploid with half the number of chromosomes. So half the number of chromosomes, or an equivalent statement, half the genetic material, that sort of thing, becoming haploid. And the other one is, this type of cell division produces variation. So for example, crossing over or independent assortment and that sort of thing. So introduces variation. Now you could say an example of that. But that's enough for our 2 marks. So a couple of little tricky bits there and a tricky diagram, but some bits that you should certainly certainly remember there.